around the club at the moment, right? So we all know that Carlo Ancelotti, right? He got a 1-year extension, which is why he's still the manager for this season. But the future for him is up in the air, right? Like there's no guarantee that Carlo is our manager next season. Now, me personally, I would extend Carlo Ancelotti. I would keep him as the manager. As long as he keeps winning trophies, then I don't see why you replace him. But a name that seems like is the favorite to be the manager if Carlo leaves, that's Xabi Alonso. And it makes a lot of sense why Xabi is being touted as the next Real Madrid manager. I also think he wants to be the next Real Madrid manager. That's why he decided to stay at Leverkusen for 1 more year. He could have went to Liverpool, right, after they lost Jurgen Klopp. He could have went to Bayern Munich after they sacked Thomas Tuchel. But he decided to stay at Leverkusen, and he said 1 more year. I wonder why he did that. Because Liverpool are a bigger club than Leverkusen. Bayern Munich are a way bigger club than Leverkusen. So why would he turn those 2 teams down? He turned them down because he wants that Madrid job. And I think the work that he's done at Bayer Leverkusen is fantastic. Invincible season. Did a double. I think they've only won 5 trophies in their entire history, and Xabi Alonso has brought them 3 of them. So he's a legend at that club already. Xabi Alonso will never have to worry about anything in that region of Germany. But I think for people to have just wanted to give him the Real Madrid job after 1 season of success at Leverkusen, that's crazy to me. Because look at the squad that we have right here. All these big players. And we are struggling at the moment because we have to find a way to make all these guys gel. There's just no way, in my opinion, that as of right now, I think Xabi Alonso should be getting the Madrid job. Now, obviously, right, he's played for the club. He's well respected. But the pressure at Real Madrid as a manager is different. At Bayer Leverkusen, I think what they've done was amazing. But there's no pressure at that club to win. If he would have went and finished 5th last season or 4th, they would have been happy with that. Now, what he ended up achieving is amazing. But having to come to a Real Madrid side with all these big personalities and you got to try and make them gel, I think you need a little bit more experience. Now, I'm not opposed to Xabi Alonso getting it because when you think of up-and-coming managers that play good football, and, you know, the trend right now is that clubs want younger managers. So I 100% understand why he's being touted as the next manager. But I have to see how he does this season with Leverkusen. And the thing is, I don't even have high expectations for them because I think Bayern will win the league. What I'm looking for Leverkusen to do is it has to be a title race, right? Like they have to be involved for a majority of the season. They can't just fall off. I also want to see how is Xabi Alonso going to do in the Champions League. I'm not expecting them to win it, but how far can he go? Quarterfinals? To me, I think round of 16, depending on who you draw, if you're Leverkusen, you got to get out that round. And I also want to see how they do in their domestic cups. Basically, what I'm saying is Xabi Alonso has to prove himself to me this season. I think 1 season, fantastic. Now show me you can do it again. If he's able to do a good job with Leverkusen this season, then yeah, I'm all for it. But for me, Carlo, I think he should be getting another extension. We're talking about arguably the greatest manager of all time. Who else would you want managing this squad at the moment in terms of who can get all these big name players in the right system and who do you really trust to make it work out? Who do you trust that these players would listen to faster? Again, Xabi Alonso played for Liverpool, Bayern, Real Madrid. Like, he is a legendary player in his own right. But as a manager, I just don't want to give him the job too soon. So I'm glad that he stayed at Leverkusen for one more season because I want to see what he can do. Now that the pressure is going to be turned on, now that everybody is aware of what Leverkusen can do, now that he's going to be playing better competition. So, again, I get the Xabi links. I do understand it. And it does make sense. But for me, Carlo is the manager that I still want. But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I think, Carlo has a lot of pressure this season. Right now, kind of struggling at the moment. We got to see how the season unfolds. Barcelona, they look hot right now. Hansi Flick has them bums cooking. But I think by the end of the season, I think we still do win some trophies. But yeah, look, Xabi Alonso, he does play a good style of football. The only thing that I'm concerned about with him is the formation that he likes to run. Because the personnel that we have, it doesn't really fit what he's doing at Leverkusen, right? Like at Leverkusen, they use a lot of their attack comes from their wing backs, right? Like Jeremy Frimpong, right wing back, right? You have Grimaldo, left wing back. Like they kind of play like a back five, kind of, with like 2 10s and then a striker up front. Like how would that kind of system work with Madrid's personnel? So unless he's gonna maybe switch it up, which I'm sure that he can, that's something that concerns me. But yeah, let's just see how Xabi Alonso does this season. He does look a good manager though. And again, going invincible is crazy, right? I mean, the first team to win the Bundesliga outside of Bayern Munich in like a decade. Like that's very impressive. And I like that they were able to keep a majority of their squad. Because usually when you have teams like Leverkusen that have a fantastic season like what they had, you lose your players that summer, right? Like it happens to all small clubs that have a big season. But they were able to keep Xabi Alonso. They kept Florian Wirtz, Jonathan Tah, Hincapie, Frimpong, Grimaldo, Boniface. Like they've kept their star players. So they have all the tools to go again next season. And I'm surprised that they didn't lose anybody, right? Like look at Girona last season. We're arguably, aside from Leverkusen, the second most surprising team in all of Europe, the way that they came out and they were playing such great football. Those guys got rated, right? Look at that Monaco team that Mbappe was in. Rated. Look at Leicester City when they won the Premier League. Got rated. So the fact that Leverkusen were able to keep all their heavy hitters, I'm impressed. And I like it. So, yeah, let's see what they do this season. But I think, yeah, if Carlo does end up leaving, then Xabi Alonso makes a lot of sense, chat. Like, I'm not mad at the links at all. I just think the pressure is a little bit different. I know some people might say, well, he was a player at Madrid, so he understands that. But I don't think necessarily that correlates because look at Xavi at Barca. He's a legend of Barcelona. He came through the academy. He was a part of some of their greatest ever teams. And he still couldn't hack the media pressure as their manager. And he won La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup in his first season. One season later, he quits because the pressure is just too much. So I don't want something like that to happen with a Xabi Alonso. But again, the trend in football right now, it is go after young managers. Everybody wants young managers now. I don't necessarily care about the manager being young. I just want the manager that's going to have us playing good football and winning trophies. That's all that I care about. And for me, I think Carlo should get an extension. He should. But if you're Madrid, I think the smartest thing to do is wait before you decide. Wait to see how Leverkusen do this season. If they fall off, if they come 5th in the Bundesliga, let's say they get knocked out in the round of 16 or they don't even make it out the Champions League group, if they don't go deep in their domestic cups, then yeah, I don't think Xabi Alonso should get the job. But if they have another good season, then you consider it. If Madrid struggle, right, if we don't win the league, if we don't go win the Champions League, if we're like sitting 3rd or 4th, then yeah, maybe. Maybe, for sure. But for me, Carlo has all my confidence right now. And I haven't seen any rumors about him wanting to retire or stop managing. And I know that Brazil wanted Carlo, right? He was supposed to be their manager, and they could use him because they got Peter Griffin that's just over there making Vinny and Rodrigo look like scrubs with that trash system that Brazil is running. So maybe he ends up managing the Brazil national team if he leaves Madrid. But this is one to keep an eye on because, again, I thought, me personally, guys, I thought Xabi Alonso was going to be Bayern's manager. Like, when they first sacked Thomas Tuchel, I literally predicted, I said, he will go to Bayern. And then when he turned them down, I was very surprised. Like, I won't even lie to you guys. And then once he did turn them and Liverpool away, I said he wants the Real Madrid job. I called it. I don't know how many of you guys were watching me when the summer was first getting started. Maybe not a lot because I didn't really get that many viewers back then. But I called it. I said there's no reason for you to stay at Leverkusen one more year if Bayern wants you, if Liverpool wants you, if Barcelona, because remember, they needed a manager. Barcelona were linked to him as well. 3 big clubs want you, and you decide to stay at Leverkusen for one more year? I wonder why. Because Carlo only has 1 year left on his deal. And I don't blame Xabi. I mean, if you have a chance to get the Real Madrid job, I mean, of course. But he has to realize he has to perform again this season. You can't fall off. You can't, because then I don't think that Madrid go in for him. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this, chat. But let me know what you guys think about Xabi Alonso. Do you rate him? Do you want him to be the next manager at Real Madrid? Like, what are you guys thinking about?